Good morning. Welcome back to the Jeff Fox Show, 2 Live News Radio Network. The hell are my glasses? I don't know what's wrong with me this morning, man. I'm all over the place, can't see shit. Alright, so what we're gonna do, man, I'm considering lifting the suspension of Rodney the intern. Because I need some stuff down right here. I kind of need some help. I kind of need some help in the studio, y'all. That's what it is. So, we are going to the Real Man Block guest line. My man, Scoop Jackson. How about that? I got a little sound effect and everything, man. So, that's what we're going to do. Scoop Jackson from ESPN. Breaking news in the house. What up, Scoop?
What up, man? What's going on? How you doing?
Good, man. Good, man. We got a national audience, man. We on 2 Live News Radio.
Love it.
You know, we got folks all around the country checking us out right now, man. How you been, man? You been working, man?
I've been grinding, man. I've been grinding in the lab, doing these vignettes and features for the Super Bowl and the All-Star Game and Black History Month and just, grinding, man, getting it in.
No doubt, no doubt. So what you got going on for the Super Bowl?
No, we're doing a couple of packages, a couple of numbers crunches on the on the Patriots and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, and we did this really cool essay we just finished up on the Eagles and them being the underdogs. We had this other dope one together on the domino effect of certain plays in the Super Bowl, but that got scrapped. That was really dope, though. We may save that for the NCAA. So we're going to have three little small, 2-minute feature video content stories that are going to go up for the Super Bowl. But we had a fourth one. That was supposed to be a 4-minute joint. It was really dope. Hopefully we get to do that for the NCAA. Yeah. And then we got a Black History, annual ESPN Sports Center Black History Month hour-long show. Just did the opening for that. Writing on that show. And also on the side, doing the Nike Equality campaign. So, busy, man. No doubt, man. I've been trying to get him on the show for the longest, you guys. So, pleasure to have him, man, who just hit me up, Fox, real quick. And it is what it is, man. I mean, you've been doing some outstanding work. I love the documentary you guys did for the 30 for 30 on the kid from Chicago. What was his name? Ben Wilson.
Ben Wilson, man.
Yeah.
Unfilled potential,
man. That was one of my favorites, too. It took a long time to get that one done. But it was well worth it. And not because I was involved in it, but I still think that's one of the best 30 for 30s that we've done at ESPN.
No doubt. You remember back then, man, I mean, this kid was thought to be the next big thing, and it's something I just could never forget. When it happened, I could never forget it.
Well, like I said, living in Chicago, man, he was Magic Johnson with a jump shot. He did the Anthony Davis thing where he grew like 8 inches over a summer. He went from like 6'1" to 6'8".
Right.
Or 6'9", in the course of a couple of months. And he was a great basketball player, even before that growth. So what happened was he kept all his guard skills. His guard skills never left him.
Right.
So he came back, going into his junior year in high school from being a point guard to damn near being before they were called a stretch four. With those guard handling skills, and still had that jump shot. But he was 6'9" at the time. So, first player in the history of Chicago to ever be ranked number 1 in the nation. And going into his senior year, just ran into a situation and wound up getting shot.
Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah, it happens. And we never know. It's always we deal in a lot of mythology, and we happen to dwell as human beings in promise and what we feel the promise of a certain individual is. And over the last 25, 30 years, we've held on to what the promise of what we think Ben Wilson would have become. That's in our mind because of the promise he showed us before he was killed. But there's no guarantee he would have become the next Magic Johnson, Magic with the jump shot or the pre-Kevin Durant. We don't know that for sure. But in the moment when he was killed at 17 years old, he had that promise, and we hold on to that. So that's what makes the story so compelling. And I got to give credit to Kudi and Chike for doing something that even I was against. In the process of filming the documentary, was putting the guy who actually murdered him in the film.
That was deep. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
I
seeing
know.
that. Yeah.
Dude, the executive decision that Cootie made in that moment was that's the mark of an amazing filmmaker. And I told him I wouldn't have done it, and my response to him when he asked me what I thought about it, I put it on him. I said, look, man, if somebody was if somebody was telling your life story in film, would you want the person that killed you in the film? He said, as the subject matter of who the film is about, hell knows. He said, but as a filmmaker, this is what makes great film.
Yep.
I'm like, man, honor your craft, and he did that, and I thought that was an extremely brave move as a filmmaker, a brilliant move as a filmmaker, and what it became a very brilliant move to bring some type of closure to his involvement in the death of Ben Wilson, and the friends and the family, having some type of closure, with him and Benji's friends and all. So it went much more deeper than just being a part of the film, him being involved. They brought him back into the fold, and they were able to close and heal a lot of wounds that have been open for a long period of time.
Hey, did you ever get to check out there's a new series about Chicago called The Chi?
Yeah, I know I know the people involved. Know the writer. She's from Chi.
That is an excellent show.
But yeah, it is actually a very good, solid show. I was hesitant at the beginning because it looked too clean to me.
Right.
From the story I thought they were going to tell, because I knew they were going to get down, and tell part of this, South Side story of Chicago. And I know I'm from the South Side, so I know how the South Side rolls. But in looking at the trailers and the, early shots of the film, I thought it was too clean. I thought it was going to come off feeling a lot too much stylized, as opposed to the way David Simon shot The Wire.
Right.
Where you felt Baltimore.
Yep.
In all is good. When you went to City Hall in Baltimore, you felt City Hall. When you went, to Amsterdam, you felt that part of Baltimore. So it gave you that Baltimore feel. My thing with The Chi initially was that it looked too stylized. It looked too clean. It didn't have an authentic feel to the South Side of Chicago. But in watching it, the cleanness of it doesn't overtake the messages and the story that's being told, and the actual show as a whole. It comes off very, very well. Very well.
Yeah, the writing is brilliant. It really is. There's a young kid from down here named Alex Hibbert that's in it, and he's classmates with my son, man. And
oh, wow, okay.
The kid can act.
Is that little Kevin? Is that the dude who...
Yeah, the one who saw the guy shoot.
Who got his bicycle, right?
Yeah.
He's really, really good. Like, he's really good.
Yeah, he was also in Moonlight. I think the movie Moonlight.
Yep. I didn't pick up on that. I picked up on my man who was Eazy-E, in Straight Outta Compton.
Right.
Him playing the lead role. And I also picked up on my man who was in Will Smith's movie. The guy that's dealing with the baby and working at the barbecue spot.
Right.
With the highlights in his hair. He played one of the angels in the Will Smith movie. Collateral Damage. Not what Collateral Damage, it was Collateral Beauty, right.
Right.
I caught him in that, but I didn't catch that little Kevin from Moonlight. I didn't pick up on that until, my wife mentioned that to me. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Good stuff, really good. Man. We're talking to Scoop Jackson from ESPN. Follow him on Twitter at I am Scoop Jackson. Scoop, NBA, man, of course, continues to make news. Kyrie Irving, man, stuff coming out about him forcing his way out of Cleveland. I'm sure you've heard about it. Your thoughts on how this makes Kyrie look?
I mean, look, I tend to look at things like that differently. I think that in Kyrie's situation, it's like, all right, what would you have rather had? It's like pick your poison. What type of Kyrie do you think would have played in Cleveland this year after going through what he felt he didn't want to go through last year?
Right.
So it's kind of like that old adage that MCs used to use back in the day. Rappers used to be like, look, would you rather have me rapping this nonsense on wax, or would you have me, rather have me not doing this and inside your crib? Would you rather have me in your ear? Or would you rather have me robbing your house? These are the choices that I made for myself, you know? So they chose to get out of whatever game they were in and start spitting bars on a microphone. My thing with Kyrie, I use the same thing. Would you rather have a disgruntled, upset, not wanting to be here, I hate this place, Kyrie still in the Cleveland uniform? Or would you rather have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I look at it. You know, and I'd rather me as a fan and me as somebody who likes basketball players, especially at the professional level, to do whatever they can to find their freedom, because there's so many restrictions in professional sports and to professional sports athletes. The one thing I do look for and wish for all of them is that they do find some freedom once they're on the court or on the field or on the pitch, you know, wherever, because that's where you can be you.
Right.
That's where you're not handcuffed the way you are, the way the game and professional business handcuffs all of us to a certain degree. You know, so when you're on that dance floor, at least you could be free.
Yeah.
So I'm always been a proponent of that. So whatever Kyrie had to do to find his freedom on the court, I'm all for that.
I mean,
You know, and it's not like Cleveland didn't get anything in return. They did the best deal they possibly could to get Kyrie, and knowing that they had a chance of going through that.
I like the deal. I like the deal
Yeah.
initially at the time, but the Cavs have sucked, man.
But here's the thing: they don't suck. They don't suck strictly because of that. They suck because they don't play defense. Bottom line, Isaiah Thomas is not the sole reason that they are where they are. They didn't play defense last year. They
Right.
are not committed to playing defense. And at this point in time, you know, last year you could get through the East in the playoffs without having to make a strong commitment to defense. Yeah, they turned the defense up a little bit. But if you look at the numbers across the board, they were ranked like, I think, 22nd overall in defense. They were ranked like 25th in points and opponents scored. You know, they were like last in blocks and steals. They were horrible defensively last year. But they got through it. But that lack of defensive commitment showed itself when you played a team that was of your caliber. And that's why Golden State took care of them as quick as they did. So this year, it's not going to be as easy as the East because a lot of the Eastern teams have gotten better. Toronto is better than they were last year. Boston is better than they were last year. We still can't figure out Washington yet.
Right.
You know, but Washington can still be, when they decide to play and get it all together, they still could be trouble. But getting through the East is not going to be as easy as it was for Cleveland last year, and they still haven't shown defensive commitment, and it's actually gotten worse, and you cannot blame that on Isaiah Thomas. That existed before he got there. None of them are getting back on. None of them are getting back. None of them are making any defensive commitments or making any stops.
Right.
That's a team situation. You know, and until you get to that level where you make a strong commitment to defense, then we can't just single out one player, man. That's not even right if we're supposed to call ourselves basketball experts or basketball aficionados.
Right.
Isaiah Thomas is not the reason they're not playing good basketball.
Now, his name has come out because of the whole locker room meeting they had, and his name is leaked out that he called out Kevin Love. Kevin Love has been somewhat viewed as a victim in all of this in the media. I don't know what the hell's going on in Cleveland, and the fact that we got the best player in the world in that locker room, it just seems like it's a bit, out of hand. The whole situation.
Yeah, it is, and there's only so much you can do as a player and as a leader, and I think Isaiah Thomas has forced himself to be a leader in whatever circumstance, he's presented. Whether it is in Sacramento, where he was coming off the bench, whether it's in Phoenix before he got to Boston, he became a leader once he got to Boston. He's always going to be that person that it feels that he has to step up to some degree. And even in being in Cleveland for the short amount of time he's been there, he felt something had to be said, especially if nothing's being said. Now, we all know LeBron is the leader there, but LeBron may be tired, man. Again, I'm putting the same, I don't want to say excuse, but I'm putting the same lack of burden on LeBron that I am on Isaiah Thomas. There's only so much one man can do in this situation. We're talking about a systemic situation that's dealing with a defensive effort that a team is doing, and now it's got to the point that effort has become their DNA. It's not a switch on, switch off situation. When you carry yourself as a defensive team, as a team that doesn't play defense for over a season, then that's really who you are.
Yeah.
And at this point, there's nothing LeBron can. This is not a rah-rah speech LeBron can do. LeBron can't get in 11 players at one time and make them play D, and him still have to do what he has to do on the court every night. I'm pretty sure LeBron has tried to do this and it's just not sinking in. I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Tyronn Lue tried to get them to make some type of commitment, but it hasn't worked. So, there's LeBron is the best player in the world. There's no doubt about that. Nobody argues that. But there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can say. There's only so many lineup changes you can make. And at the end of the day, we have to look at it. Cleveland was in the position to lose Kyrie Irving and get nothing in return.
Right.
The best thing that happened to Boston and Cleveland in this situation, but definitely to Boston, was that they had to play Cleveland last year in that playoff without Isaiah Thomas. And guess what? They hung in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They won a game. They hung in there. They're like, okay, as valuable as this dude is, we be able to get by without him because his style of play may work for the regular season. But, this 4-on-1 offense that we're running may not bode well against Cleveland. And if we stay like this, we might be able to get Cleveland. But we see some ball movement. We see a lot more fluidity. We see more engagement in our player offensively when Isaiah's not here. And we're seeing this against the best team in the East. Maybe he is expendable. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at the situation where, all right, Cleveland shouldn't have done this. Kyrie was wrong for forcing himself out, all this and that. No. In the moment that we're looking at, which was 6 months ago, whenever this jumped off after the season, Kyrie was not happy and wanted out. Boston had an opportunity to give an all-star for an all-star, and Cleveland was like, look, we can get rid of Kyrie and get something in return as opposed to getting nothing if we leave him here. If he stays here this whole season, we're losing him and not getting anything in return. And what did they get in return? They got an all-star. They got a power forward that can help them and help LeBron guard Kevin Durant if they go up against the Warriors and Jay Crowder. And they got a number 1 draft pick. Come on, man.
Yeah.
and now we're going to sit back and say we're mad about that? No. Cleveland had to do that. And guess what? Boston had to do it too.
Maybe by the end of the season they'll resolve this situation. I don't see it. I see no love in that locker room, no camaraderie.
Okay, Jeff, yeah. You're right. But let me ask you this. You are exactly right. But I'm going to ask you this. Do you see that being better if Kyrie had stayed?
No.
Thank you. That's my point.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Isaiah Thomas, the trade is not the problem. It actually may have been worse had Kyrie stayed.
Right.
So what I'm telling you is that if we're looking at 2 separate scenarios, 2 totally different scenarios, Kyrie Irving there, disgruntled, Isaiah Thomas trade there, disgruntled. He's not disgruntled, just the team is. The team is fractured, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, we're seeing a fractured team, right?
Clearly.
All right, so what does that say? That says it's in their DNA.
Yeah. I mean, usually when you have a meeting and a come together of minds, it's kind of like when you have a fight with a loved one and you're like, my bad, I love you, I still love you and all that. But they don't seem to be, I don't see an end in sight to all of the dysfunction in the Cavs locker room. And then Gilbert comes out and says he wants to sell the team. I'm like, man, is this like the basketball version of the drive, the shot, the fumble? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I did a piece last year for ESPN when this whole thing about Kyrie broke, and I talked about the power of losing. And we're losing, and to me, this is what losing does. I really do believe that had Cleveland won, none of this would have happened. Kyrie may have swallowed, whatever he had to deal with, and it definitely might not have gone down this way because, like they say, winning is the best deodorant in sports. The stank is removed.
Right.
So losing and the way they lost to Golden State in the demoralizing way that made them all feel and made the rest of the NBA world feel that this gap is too big to close.
Yeah.
This gap, I don't care what Cleveland does, until y'all have to come with many answers to answer this problem because this team is just that much better than you and everybody else in the league. So when you get to that point, the stank is going to be there. So it is what it is in Cleveland right now, and I don't think a trade for Kyrie was going to change that. I don't even think Dan Gilbert selling the team would do that. I do believe, though, and I'm not one to start removing people from their jobs, but I do believe that in this particular case, there may be something of an answer. and that is a change at the coaching positions.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And I only say that because I do believe that there's one person that may be able to come in and rectify what is going on, at least to get them to believe, or in a position to make us believe that they do have a chance to at least make it to the finals again.
I have an idea who that person might be. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are we talking David Fizdale?
All day, baby. All day. All day.
Yeah.
David Fizdale is the black Greg Popovich without the rings.
Right.
You know, and he is not afraid and doesn't give a damn about going up against LeBron.
Exactly.
He had LeBron for 4 years in Miami. He's good.
Yep.
He's good. He's not walking around on eggshells. You know, where I can't say this to LeBron. All the news that gets out of how they say that, you know, all the coaches from Mike Brown, you know, to David Platt to Tyronn Lue, you know, they can't, you know, do what they want to do. Go full 100 as coaches because of the LeBron situation, or the LeBron elephant in the room, and them having to pacify LeBron because they want him to stay there. Placate to LeBron so he has to stay there and don't get him, whatever. I don't even know if that's true or not, but it seems to be that's been an ongoing story since LeBron has been in Cleveland and all the coaches have had to deal with that elephant being in the room. David Fizdale would not have to honor that. Because in his position, trust me, Jeff, if he goes there, he has this working on his side. One, he's not going to get fired before the end of the season.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, you bring me in, y'all are not going to fire me by the end of the season. Y'all not going to go through 3 coaches in 1 year. That's not going to happen. So there's a level of job security there that he's good with. Number 2, he has a relationship with LeBron. LeBron understands him. LeBron understands this man can coach. And he's LeBron's guy, so he can come at LeBron any way he wants to and not worry about that.
Exactly.
And 3, what else does Cleveland have to lose?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If anybody goes, look, David Fizdale will walk into this locker room and there, well, you can't talk. Man, I talk to my wife like this. I talk to the commissioner like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I talk to anybody like this. I'll talk to Dan Gilbert. I don't care. This is what we're gonna do. And if you know David Fizdale, he talks to referees, he'll talk to commissioner. He may be the person we need to go talk to Donald Trump. He doesn't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care. Just like Popovich.
Yeah, he don't hold back, man. I remember him from Miami. I covered him with the Heat, so.
You know that.
Yes.
Right? And that could be the remedy to get Cleveland to be who they need to be. Somebody that will get in their ass.
Yeah.
Not even hold them accountable, but get in their ass and they can't say anything about it.
Absolutely, man.
He would exercise the bitch out of everybody in that locker room.
Yep, especially JR, because I don't know what the hell done happened to JR and Tristan Thompson. Like, they are shells of themselves. But yeah, they certainly need a motivator like that to get them popping again. Scoop, also, man, thanks for forgiving me for butchering your Twitter handle. It's actually IB Scoop Jackson on Twitter, man, because I want the people that's listening right now to follow you. And keep up with what you're doing. So it's IB Scoop Jackson on Twitter.
It went from it started off as I am Scoop Jackson to now it's IB Scoop Jackson, and probably in a year or two I'm going to switch to I know Scoop Jackson.
No doubt, man. Hey, man, we appreciate you giving us a few minutes this morning, man. Appreciate you here on the Two Live Suits Radio Network, man. We're going to connect again. Look, yourself, Mark Gray, me, Steele, we need to get together, man, on the Super Bowl podcast.
Yeah, we need to bring the squad back together, get the band back together. We need to do that. Talk to Mark. You know, Mark is Mark's the whistleblower. He puts everybody together. He's LeBron in this. He can bring us all together. So
I just had Mark on the show the other day, and we were talking about. Speaking of which, they're going to be singing "Lift Every Voice" at a few NBA games in the month of February during Black History Month. Dr. Eugene Williams spearheaded that. Mark has more details on it, and I'm going to get Dr. Williams on the show, actually.
But guess what? I'm going to tell you who actually spearheaded that, and then I get credit for it. Shouts out to Alicia Keys and Angie Stone. Yes, Angie Stone, Alicia Keys, back in, I think the All-Star game was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they had them sing God Bless America, and they snuck that in there in the middle of the song. They snuck in the Black National Anthem in the middle of God Bless America. And I'll never forget, Stuart Scott and I were standing next to each other, and we gave each other dap like that was one of the proudest black moments we had. And a lot of people didn't get it. They didn't know what was going on.
Right, they just thought it was a remix.
Yeah, exactly. But man, we were like, oh, that was so gangster. Like, that was one of the most gangster thing I had ever seen done.
Wow.
So they set that precedence for this to happen. That had to be about 10 years ago. I think it was the All-Star. Whenever the All-Star game was in Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they performed. They performed singing God Bless America, and they snuck that in there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. I hope they do pull it off and get more NBA teams to participate. I know the Wizards are in. A class organization like the Miami Heat, I'm pretty sure they would get in that as well. So hopefully the trend continues.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. Let's see if we can get black folks to learn that second and third verse.
No doubt about that, man. Follow him on Twitter, folks. I be Scoop Jackson, man. Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you, man.
Tell your brother I said what up, too.
No doubt. I will do that, man.
Cool. 200.
200. Scoop Jackson, everybody, here on the Two Live Stews Radio Network on the Jeff Fox Show. Always a great interview, man. Love that brother right there. We'll be back with more of the Jeff Fox Show right after this.
The 2018 Jazz in the Gardens Music Festival. Saturday, March 17th and Sunday, March 18th at Hard Rock Stadium. Featuring Anita Baker, Chaka Khan, Smokey Robinson, Fantasia, Joe, Sultan Peppa, Tasha Combs Leonard, Trombone Shorty, and more. Tickets on sale now at the box office, Ticketmaster.com, or jazzinthegardens.com. Brought to you by the City of Miami Gardens.